So hey friends, here's the first step when you do a build. This is a corner stake that's been put in the ground for one of the support pads that's going to go down. Now as you can see, I've strung some nylon line along these pads. So I've got a couple of spots here where I've placed all of the subsequent stakes in order to lay out the area that I'm going to be working in. One of the things about this process is you have to make sure everything is square, and there's a certain method of doing that. It requires some geometry. A squared plus B squared equals, what is it? C squared. Good job. So you take from this corner and you measure out, say, 5 feet. And from this corner, you measure out 5 feet. And then you measure the distance here. And if you plug that formula in, you should come to a specific number, which allows you to know if you're square or not. Because obviously if you're not square, one side's gonna be a little longer than the other side. So you do that on all 4 sides and kind of get you roughly where you need to be. So that's one of the first steps that has to be done here. Obviously this tree is gonna be taken out. And I'll show you some other areas here and some creative things I'm actually gonna do. So these trees on the side here are gonna stay, and I'll explain to you why I laid it out this way in just a moment. Okay, so here's a tree that I do not want to take out, and I'll explain why. Now, if you'll notice, the line here goes just to this side of this tree. So the post I'm gonna put in is gonna go right here, and then there's another post in the corner, and that post is gonna go vertically straight up and down. This tree right here leans a little bit this way. So by the time that post goes up, it's gonna be on this side of the tree, and the treehouse will go up from there. This tree will actually go directly through the deck. There's a 4-foot wide deck that's gonna go around the entire perimeter of the house. And this tree will actually go directly up through that deck. I want to keep this tree because it has some spectacular leaves on it, and it's a very good shading tree. And I like the idea, I've seen it before, with trees that come up through the actual deck and they're actually live and existing and you don't take them out. I think it just looks amazing. So we're gonna stick with and keep this tree right here. Okay, 24 feet, that basically is going to be the footprint. We're going to be working with 9 posts we have to put into the ground, and from that point we're going to then extend upwards and begin the structure about 8 feet off the ground. So it's going to be fun. It's actually going to be a very sizable space. The treehouse is going to have a loft on the 2nd floor as well. So as it gets moving forward, you'll get a sense for how it's going to look, and hopefully you'll all catch the vision of what it's going to be about as it goes on. So stick with me. Okay, friends, this is the money tree behind me. This tree goes up and branches out and has a really good structure at all the areas you can see up on the top there for a good platform to be built up there. I am intending to build a platform up there to put a couple of sun lounger little poolside recliners. And also, I'm thinking about putting a shower up there, a little outdoor shower, so that you can rub off the suntan or sunscreen area and kind of wash it off when you're done tanning yourself up there. So it's kind of a cool thought process I went through as I was kind of looking at it and kind of realizing, hey, there's some usable space up there that we can kind of work with. So the treehouse itself is going to basically be kind of up into that area there, and then I'm going to utilize all that space up and through there to make some really cool little areas that you can go. So that's the plan. Stay with me, you'll see it unfold. Hey friends, how you doing? I'm at my piece of land here in Playa Junquial, Costa Rica. As you can see behind me, I've got a beautiful canopy of trees that shades a good portion of my land. And when I bought this 3 months ago, I initially was going to put a fairly sizable house on here. Then one day I was sitting here looking at it and I realized that I'd have to take out a lot of these trees back here in order to do that. So I had a thought. It was actually a really creative thought I want to share with you today. And there's a little twist to it as well. What I thought I would do instead was put a tree house in all the way back at that tree back there. Now, all these years, I've always looked at tree houses as a real romantic thing. Everyone growing up that maybe had a chance to see Swiss Family Robinson, or that whole idea of living in a tree house has always just kind of grabbed my imagination. So what I thought I would do is something super fun and creative. And here it is. I'm going to actually videotape this entire process. And I'm going to do it in short little episodic, maybe 20-minute TV style segments. And what I intend to do is the first 3 of those, I'm going to provide a link through my Instagram page for you to go and see those. They're going to be completely free. If you're interested in them and if they have some value and some entertainment, as well as educational purposes, what I invite you to is the next step. And the next step is from episode 4 until absolute completion of everything. I'm actually going to be providing those to be watched at $1 per episode. The idea behind selling these episodes to you has another benefit as well. The socioeconomic conditions down here have been a little challenging. There's some people that have had a lot of work and it's been great. They've been able to support their families, but there is definitely a need for responsibly generated and provided charity. And so a portion of some of those proceeds are going to go towards doing just that down here. And I'm likely to film in a few instances when that is done, so that you'll get a sense for that being a very motivating factor in this entire thing. So I invite you to this whole thing because there's some benefit all the way around, and I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to have a lot of fun during this build. I'm super excited about getting started, and so pay attention. Jump onto the Instagram page. You'll see a lot of things being added there, and then just follow me wherever I take you. Hi friends, greetings from Costa Rica. I'm in Santa Cruz right now. This morning as I left, I posted something and I mentioned that, hey, we're going to get started today. We're excited, and indeed the intention today was to just get out there and really get going. And wouldn't you know it, on the way to work, I saw 2 ladies on the side of the road just kind of frantically waving, and one of them was holding just an infant child, a very, very small boy. And of course we're passing left and right, and so I pulled over very quickly and motioned them over, and come to find out that 5 days ago they had a flood come through here. It's been super rainy here this year. They have a La Nina down here, which throws all the storms like straight through here. One day, a couple months ago, they had 10 inches of rain in one day, which is just biblical. They were pulling their phones up and showing me that basically a flood from a river had come through and just completely wiped out their entire dwelling and home, and all of their stuff was completely gone. And I just was beside myself. I just they had the clothes on their back basically. So I asked them as best I could in broken English, where they needed to be, and it happened to be about an hour and a half away from where we were. So I told them, get in the car, let's do this. So we ended up driving all the way to Nosara, and when we got there, just something just kind of impressed upon me. Hey, you know what? They've got clothes on their back basically, and they wanted to get to Nosara so that they could get in touch with a lady they knew there who would be able to call their family in Panama to arrange for their transportation from Costa Rica to Panama. They're from Panama. So as I'm on the way there, I'm just thinking to myself, well, okay, maybe I can help here. Maybe I could do something. And just the thought came to me, hey, just take them to the store. So we ended up going to one of the supermarkets, and I was just very impressed to pull over to this particular one. And it happened to be a supermarket with some other things in there, some clothes and some other stuff there. And I had no idea, but it happened to be that way. And we walked in the store, and I basically put the translation on my phone, and I said, get whatever you want. And they were just beside themselves grateful. They ended up getting tons of food and some clothes for them to wear and some sandals, because one of them, their sandals was in really bad shape. And I just really got to thinking that, the whole purpose of us really being here in this world is to see where there's a need and do what we can. I mean, there's no reason for virtue signaling anything about this. It's just the reality of what it is. And you will see in a subsequent post I put out on Instagram that the importance of doing something down here of a charitable nature is going to be very high in this process I'm undertaking. Matter of fact, it'll make a lot more sense when you see subsequent posts of what one of the ideas that I have is down here. So this ended up consuming the entire day. I never got out to the job and did one stitch of work today. And I kind of look at this as a little bit of a blessing, if you will, because, here I was gung-ho to get started on my dream today, and this happened, and I realized, you know what? I mean, man, your dreams are great to pursue, but, in the context of the world, sometimes they have to take a back seat. And so I was just grateful to be able to do this for them today. We were done, and they ended up having about 15 bags of groceries and clothes and everything, and I took them to a bus stop, and there was some confusion there about the whole thing, and I thought it was actually going to be a bus station that we were going to, and I intended to get them a ticket to Panama. I mean, I couldn't fathom having an infant child, and it was two sisters with an infant child. And it wasn't. It was a bus stop, and so then it became clear to me that they were waiting for someone to come, meet them there at a certain time, make that phone call, and then arrangements could be made. So in the meantime, they have 15 bags of groceries that are just kind of sitting at the bus stop. And I said, stay here, I'll be right back. And I ended up going to the store and buying two very good, high quality, big backpack style, with the little waist belt things. So they had quite a bit of food, quite a bit of heavy things. Brought those back to them, gave them to them, and basically bid them farewell. So what's my purpose in doing this? Well, our dreams are important. Yes, they're important. They're important to pursue. Where there's a need, don't drive by. It blew my mind this morning. There were just people driving by without a care in the world. And you could read the frantic nature on their faces. There was something going on. So please, if you can do anything in this world that's a benefit to anyone else, read when those situations are genuine and do something about it. Anyway, we're gonna get started. Tomorrow's gonna be our day. I'm excited about that. So again, come follow me. I'm excited about it. There's some cool little things we're going to do about this whole entire build. We're going to involve a contest, if you will, that's going to allow some people the opportunity to win a really cool prize. So you'll see that in a subsequent post. Stick with me here. And again, boy, when you see that opportunity, if I can just impress upon you guys, just take it. Just take the opportunity to help as much as you possibly can. There's not enough of that in this world today. So anyway, take care, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.